Wait, I have a riddle for you.
Really?
Tell me. I see without seeing. To me, darkness is as clear as daylight. What am I?
You're as blind as a bat!
Exactly. Hi, this is Trepacer. Welcome to Trepacer Saturday Reviews. I have two movies here that I watched today. As promised, first one was The Penguins, Madagascar. Their own movie. Finally, they had their own movie. That's them. And then, of course, a movie that was nominated for a lot of Academy Awards, actually won for Best Supporting Actor, Whiplash, starring Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the Penguins first. Like I said, I was a big fan of the Penguins, and they were in the Madagascar movies as more like side characters. And then they had their own TV show on Nickelodeon, which I watched every once in a while, not all the time. But I always liked the Penguins. You had Skipper, who was in charge. You got Kowalski, who was like the brains, and then you got Rico, who's just, I guess you could say, the muscle. And then you have Private, which is the youngest, the youngest one who looks up to, specifically the Skipper. Okay, and this movie kind of begins with funny. I like the way it began with the, at the, I guess what the North Pole, I guess, so they made it with the Penguins, just marching and happily waddling along, and until Skipper Kowalski and Skipper begins to question why are we just marching along the line, and the rest of the Penguins say this is just what we do, and so they kind of separate themselves from the pack and discovering an egg which incidentally has Private in it, and hatches after they save it from some nasty I think seals. Then they become basically a family, all four of them, and they become, basically, spies. And of course, in this movie, they come up against a villain. Villain is called Dr. Octavius Bryan, who's an octopus. Okay, and he has a kind of a backstory, a reason why he hates basically all penguins. Okay, and he basically wants to eliminate. Actually, he wants to turn. Excuse me. He wants to turn all the penguins into monsters, so they won't be as lovable anymore. Okay, because they show a little bit of his backstory about how he started off cute, everybody was loving him until the cute penguins came along, and then basically he got moved from place to place to place. So now he wants revenge. Okay, and he has a disguise that he uses. Okay, dressed up like a human. Okay, and his ultimate goal again is to basically turn the penguins of the world into disgusting creatures where mankind will be revolted by them and want them to be eliminated, and therefore, the octopuses will rise again. Okay, now, like I said, I'm a little biased because I love, the penguins, specifically Skipper. I love, I love, the actor, the voice that does Skipper, because he's just fantastic, and I like Kowalski, who's the brains, who basically tells you what you want to know, whether it's bad or good. He tells you, and then Rico is just like I said. Rico just eats everything and makes weird noises, okay, and Private is, I guess, the youngest one and the naivest one, okay, and basically they team up, like you see in the trailer, with a group called the North Wind to stop Dr. Octavius Bryan. And this movie, like I said, it had its chuckles in there, but it's not, like I said, nothing that I haven't seen before. Usually with these animated movies, I try to look for something that's unusual, a hook that makes it above the standard animated movie. And this movie, like I said, it had that plot line, and with the octopus, which was ingenious. I give them that, but it's nothing like we haven't seen before, at least on the TV show and in the movies. So while this movie is okay, and I'm happy I have it because I am a fan of the Penguins themselves, this is nothing outstanding to me, nothing that was memorable that I said, oh, I gotta watch this one more. It was just, what you would come to expect from the Penguins, okay? And they didn't disappoint, okay? But it's nothing outstanding, okay? Let's put it that way. Nothing like The Croods, which I consider a really good movie, animated movie. But I think the Penguins of Madagascar is just, just okay. It's not fantastic. It's not horrible either. But like I said, but then again, I'm a little biased because I do love the characters, okay? But I'm gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10. Okay, it's enjoyable, but forgettable, not outstanding. And okay, just my opinion about that. Oh yeah, I saw this in 3D. The 3D was good actually. I have to give it credit for that, but it's still just okay. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Okay, now this movie, Whiplash. You know, I had heard about J.K. Simmons being nominated for Best Supporting Actor, but I hadn't seen the movie, you know, until after he won. Okay, like I said, I saw it today, and stars him, Miles Teller, and I think Paul Reiser's in it as well. He plays Miles Teller's father. Basically, it's about a promising young drummer, Miles Teller, there, who joins a conservatory, and because he wants to be the best drummer of all time. He wants to be memorable. He wants to stand out. He wants to be, you know, a great guy, but not staying in his way, but in his way, I guess, which you could say is his music teacher. Not his specific music teacher, but a music teacher at the school. Okay, played by J.K. Simmons. He's just Terrence Fletcher. That's his name, Terrence Fletcher, and he's a ball. To say he's a ball buster would be an understatement. He pushes and pushes and pushes his students, and you know, and he just has no tolerance for, if you're not getting it right. He has basically no tolerance for you. He's in your face, and he tries to get the best out of you, and it doesn't matter if you have to insult you or call you ladies or throw things at you. He's just super intense. And Miles Teller's character, you know, Andrew, you know, he's trying to focus on trying to be the best. And he even, like I said, during the beginning of the movie, he meets his father at a in a movie theater where he sees the same girl. Because he has like a weekly thing where he meets his father at the movie theater and they go see a movie. And you know, he's trying to explain to the father that, you know, he saw the guy who actually walked in while he was practicing, and you could tell he really wants to please this guy, but this guy, again, this guy is super intense. He's insulting to people. He basically is in your face and basically wants to. If you don't do it exactly the way he wants, he will. Oh, he has zero tolerance for this. And J.K. Simmons is just, what a performance. He just blew me away, and so did Miles Teller with, you know, this guy who wants to be the best, and he wants to be remembered too. He wants to be the best drummer he can be, and he wants to be remembered. Okay, that's his singular focus on this. Even to the point where he meets a girl, you know, the girl he meets when he goes to the movie theater, he asks her out, and they go out. But then once he gets picked by this teacher, he decides to, you know, basically have a conversation with her where he says, listen, we should just break up because, you know, I'm gonna try to focus on being the best drummer I can be, and it's gonna get to the point where I'm gonna ignore you, and then you're gonna resent me, and then it's gonna be a whole big thing. So we should just break up and end it right now because I have to be the best. And you see him practicing to the point where his hands are bleeding, and he's still pushing on and pushing on and pushing on, and doing whatever he can to please this teacher. And oh my God, this is one of the more intense teacher-instructor movies I've seen, and just fantastic performances by, you know, Miles and J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons, you want to punch him in the face. He's just so intense. But like I say, he even explains to Miles Teller's character when they're sitting in a restaurant how that, you know, he tells him a story about how Charlie Parker became great by somebody throwing a cymbal at his head because he messed up on a note, and then he came back and later was the best. And he's basically telling him, listen, the reason I'm pushing you because I want to get the very best out of you. I don't want you to do anything half-assed. I want to, even if I have to be constantly on you to get you to be better, I'm trying to get the absolute best out of you. So maybe one day you will be another Charlie Parker in terms of drummers, okay? He wants to push and push and push. And Miles Teller tries to do everything in his power to live up to that expectation, and to the point where it just gets out of control. But boy, this movie is super intense and really good, well acted and well written as well. And I'm going to give this is probably one of the best movies I've seen this year, and I'm going to give it an 8.5. I really loved Whiplash. It was, oh my God, it's just super intense. Oh my God, I definitely highly recommend this. And you were really, woof. I can see why J.K. Simmons won the Academy Award. He played that part. Anyway, that's my review. 8.5 for Whiplash. The Penguins of Madagascar. Like I said, it was an okay movie. Like I said, I'm a little biased because I like the Penguins, but it's still nothing outstanding, that you have to run out and see. But I'm a fan of the Penguins, so I got it and I enjoyed it. So, but I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for me. Anyway, let me know what you think of those two titles. Feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Trepacer saying so long and take care.